Hey guys, Jess with Peekaboo Wreath. So I am back to work on a really pretty, look how cute this is. So it's a hydrangea Easter egg and it's meant to be hung like this. I don't know if I don't know, an Easter tree? I don't know. Like a hook or I don't know what tell me what you would hang this on. But I got this on, it was like a happy accident, like Bob Ross used to say. So it's 261741 from Walmart. It's their Celebrate brand. And what happened was I added some blue hydrangea to my order and they substituted me with this egg. And I just think it's so cute. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little stem through the bottom and then I'm going to put it like in my wreath at the bottom and then have a big bow on the top and have like the tails going down the sides. I don't know. I've never tried it, but I think that sounds cute. What do you guys think? Look how pretty that is. Walmart, they surprise you sometimes. Okay, so that was the inspiration for our wreath. So I do have our 14-inch frame. I'm going to trim down our pipe cleaners. We have our 18 ties, and then these are the colors of mesh that we're going to be using, this blue and this white iridescent. This is the same one that we used on our purple, no, not on our purple one, our other blue and white one. We're going to be using hydrangea. We're going to be using some blue and white Easter eggs in this design because it is an Easter design, and we have our, our hydrangea egg, and why not just kind of go with that traditional theme, I guess. So we're just cutting off about 2 inches off of our pipe cleaners and using our wire cutters, of course, not our scissors. But say hey when you hop on. Let me know where you're watching from, how the weather's behaving where you are. I know we have cloudy again today, but at least it's not raining and it's not snowing, so and it's not hailing, which is what we had the other day. So yeah, figured why not? We're gonna work on a little Easter design. We're gonna wire up our frame. We're gonna add our mesh in. We have our ribbon cut already because it's the same ribbon that we used on our last, well, 2 times ago that He Is Risen. We're using these ribbons here. This one is so pretty. With the birds on it. And then we're gonna be using this lacy blue one and a solid blue and a solid burlap. And these are our colors of mesh that we're using. We have this blue one. Some people call it like cornflower blue or like denim blue. It's a fabric mesh. And then we have this white one that has a little bit of iridescent in the middle and it reminds me of Easter grass. So let's wire up our frame. It's a 14-inch wire frame and we're using 18 ties. So let's wire it up. So say hey when you hop on. If you catch the replay, let me know that too. But I was finally able to get that pink and purple He Is Risen wreath up in my Etsy shop today. It was finally not raining, so I was able to take some pictures of it this morning and get it listed there. So now we have 2 He Is Risen wreaths. They just have different color schemes and a little bit different feels. But yeah, I figured let's just keep going with the Easter designs, get things stocked up. We have, I have a craft show in about a month, and it's a little bit before Easter still, so hopefully any remaining Easter designs can be sold there. But say hey when you hop on. There's my face. I know some people like to just see my hands. Some people like to see my face, so mostly the hands, but sometimes the face. That's what we're gonna go with. And if this goes too slow for you, you can always catch the reels, which are like the shortened, sped up version. And if you want to see just certain steps, you can head over to my YouTube because I post it all there in long, like the full version, but then also like the steps. So like it'll just be like just the mesh or just the ribbon or just the bow or just the embellishments. So if there's a step that you need a little bit more focus on, you can find it over there. Okay, we attach these on. We tie them tight enough so they're not going to move, but not so tight that you're going to break the welds of the frame because then it's useless to you. So yeah. Hey Gail, how you doing today? Had a busy day, lots of sports today. So, it's a good Saturday. The weekends always fly by. But yeah. Just wiring up our frame. We have 18 ties. I usually buy my pipe cleaners from Hobby Lobby. I like to get them like lots of different colors so that they match whatever project I'm working on. Even though you don't see the pipe cleaners, you do see them from the back. So I like to keep things as like cohesive as possible. So there we go. I'm doing good. Happy Saturday, Carrie. Thank you. So there we go. Oh, Betty. Friendly West Virginia, you know, I like that. So here we go. Okay, it's all wired up and ready to go. Guys, before I get started, so I ordered some special signs. So I have to show you this. So this is from a seller on Etsy. It's called Rough River Wreaths. So RRW, right? Rough River Wreaths, all is one word. And look at how pretty this sign is. I just had to show you this. I just got this in yesterday. So if you guys listened to my live yesterday, you heard my husband say that the USPS lady was here if I had a package. And the reason that I found out, the reason she actually came to the door is because she had 3 days in a row. How about it? She had a delivery for me. Look how pretty that is. So I ordered this special, again, from Rough River Wreaths. Isn't that beautiful? It's a metal design and it has books on it and it has florals. And you know what I like? My boys go to a Christian school and March is reading month. And one of my dear friends is in charge of the PTO. And she said, well, the prize for the teachers and the classes and stuff like that, it should be a reading wreath. That's sweet. And she's gonna, purchase it, of course, for me. Hey, Vanessa. So she's like, can you get a sign about reading? And I wanted to find a reading sign that was like, it wasn't so like niche where you're like, oh, I don't want to hang this at my door, because you're like, oh yeah, Dr. Seuss, which, nothing against Dr. Seuss. But I just thought that was so pretty. And this kind of looks like a cross in the back, which is appropriate for this time of year, but all year, And look at all the florals in there. Isn't that so cute? I love that. And then I wanted to show you the other sign I bought in a multiple of 2. So if you like this, let me know. I can make you something. Not the book one. The book one is spoken for. But this one, I had one of my dear family, friends, and customers. Isn't that like breathtaking? Like, look how beautiful that is. So I had one of my dear friends reach out to me and say that she wanted me to make her a Holy Week wreath, which I had never heard of anything like that before. And so I looked into it, and it's kind of like a mourning time, right? Like that time between, that week there, Easter time and stuff. So isn't that pretty? It's so beautiful. It's like a painting and a sign. So, and I really like it because it's obviously mournful, but it has like watercolor splats on the back, and it has dark colored florals. So even though it's a sad time, in darker colors. I know, Kim, isn't that beautiful? So I bought 2 of these, and I'm so thankful because it's like, sometimes you see things online and they're gorgeous, but then when you get them, you're like, oh, okay, they used some filters or something. Isn't that perfection? I love that so much. So I bought 2 of them. So if you really like that sign, I can make you something. Let me know. But I just wanted to show those again. Rough River Wreaths on Etsy. So, and I ordered them on Tuesday and they came yesterday, which was Friday, and all the way from Kentucky to Michigan. So they're on it. Okay, back to the wreath. But I just want to show you those. I love that. Really good quality. And those are 10-inch metal round signs. They do not have holes in them, although you could order that book one. You could have ordered it plain like it was, or you could have ordered it with the word welcome on it or the word hello on it. So I got some customization going on there too. But I did not get any words on it. I just got the books because I thought that was beautiful. How about it? I know. I just love those signs. I had to show them to you guys because they're just breathtaking. And that's definitely a time I I'm just as bad as everyone else, where you're more apt to like leave a, you know, like you kind of always expect good service, right? Like everyone goes into a situation wanting good service, but when you get bad service, you tend to like make more of a situation about it. But that was a time where I'm like, I got good service in those Wreath signs, and I am taking the time to leave a review and let you know. I was blown away. And those Wreath signs, when they came, they were like wrapped up in tissue paper, and it had like a yarn bow around it. Like it was like a little present. I like that. I wrote the name down. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, custom signs, they're real people in America making them. You know, so they are, I think those were, including shipping, they were like $13 a piece. So, I mean, I don't know. But you got what you pay for sure. Those are beautiful. And they had different sizes. And they had like hundreds of designs. So, Rough River Wreaths. And she's on Facebook. I assume she, I don't know. On Facebook too. Because after I got them, I looked her up on Facebook. I'm like, who are you? You're such, I was so impressed. I'm like, I need to see who you are. But yeah. Yeah, Kim, I know. You leave it really open. What? Let's see. Hold on. I missed something that you said, Kim. Let me see. Let's see if I can scroll up. I like that technique. I'm interested to see how you do that. You leave it really open. So, I just roll it a couple times under, and then I ruffle the middle up. So that's what I do. It just helps minimize any frays. And I've learned that if you roll it too many times, that you don't get enough of like that middle part, like enough of the ruffle, and it doesn't cover as well. So I just roll it once or twice to cover up any rough edges, and then I put the cut side facing down. So the length of the mesh is 30. Yes. No, not Rock River Wreath. It was Rough River Wreath. So she has it all as one word. ROUGHRIVER WREATHS. So Rough River Wreaths, all is one word. So, and she, yep, all signs are made in the USA and are recyclable. She even wrote a little note on there, and she even included stickers. Girl, I love it. And it's customer service. Yeah. Yeah, rough. Yep. But yeah, I don't always buy metal signs like that, but when I get like a custom order, I'm thankful that I'm able to support other makers, you know? And a lot of times, the people that make signs are wreath makers too, and they realized that there was a need for that, or maybe they wanted to make their own signs, I'm not sure, but I was definitely impressed. And it's kind of fun, because like sometimes when you get really good customer service, it kind of makes you ask yourself, like, am I doing a good job like that? You know, is there something else that I can do that's simple, like, you know, including stickers? Like, is there something simple that I can do that can make a, you know, make a difference? You know? So at the end of the day, you know, your customer's ordering from you because you're a real person, and, you know, I don't know. But I like it. I like those signs. Yeah. Of course. Of course, buddy. All right, so this is what we got so far. We got the blue and the white. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like navy blue, but I did not want to go so dark. So this is like a, I would think it's like a cornflower blue. I think that's what they call it. Or denim maybe. So yeah, just roll it a time or two, flip it over so you got a nice thick middle there. And then just set it down in the pipe cleaner, twist it one time, and then we're gonna come in with that mesh. Thank you. Thanks, Gail. Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly what color blue to use, but I think this is gonna work out well. We're gonna be using the hydrangea, and I showed you guys our hydrangea egg. Isn't that cute? Tell me, where would you hang this? Because this is how it's meant to be displayed, hung, like this. Easter tree, like. I think it's kind of thick to hang on somebody's door, but maybe if you don't have a screen on the front. But isn't that cute? So I'm just gonna take this out, and I'm gonna put a pick in there, And then I'm going to put this at the bottom, like in my wreath like this, and then a bow on the top. That's the plan. And then I'm gonna put hydrangea all around. And some blue and white Easter eggs even. Because you know what, I've been making lots of Easter wreaths and I've not used any Easter eggs yet. I've done 4 He Has Risen wreaths. And I need to get on with a little bit of the Easter egg cutesiness. I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but they have, some people make wreaths, a lot of people make it, wreaths that have like bunny butts coming out, kind of like my Grinch wreaths with the Grinch butt. So I finally ordered a bunny butt. I sold a wreath today. It had the Easter bunny butt, yes. 15 minutes after I posted on Facebook. Betty, what is your business name? Do you have a business page? I'm gonna check it out. That's exciting. I was just saying that. I just bought my first ever bunny butt. I was always a little nervous because sometimes the price point's a little high on those for the good quality ones. I just bought a white one with the white ears a couple days ago, so it should be coming any day now. So I'm kind of excited about that. Kind of, moderately excited, mostly excited. How exciting! Good for you, Betty. Betty, I love that. Do you sell on eBay or on Etsy, right? Betty, I feel like I know so much about you, but I never asked you questions about your business. I did a bunny butt last year, so cute, says Gail. Yes. I know, Gail. I do the Grinch butts. I know, and we're not supposed to say the trademarking things, but I do the Grinch butts every year, and people love them. And I love them. They're cute. And they're so silly. There's no way people can walk past my booth at my shows and not like, people always like touch them. And I'm always like, I know, isn't that cute? I'm like, I have 2 boys, and they just think it, as much as they think potty words are funny, they're like, what? Why do you have a booty on a wreath? And I'm like, I know, but it's cute. Even adults think it's funny sometimes, I guess. I swear, little boys, you don't gotta teach them, they just know, I have a brother, but he's much older, so it was always just me and my sister. And now I have 2 boys. And it's just, where'd you order your bunny butt from? I made and sold 2 Grinch butt wreaths after watching you. Yes! I bought it at craftoutlet.com. It was kind of expensive. I think it was like $25. That's why I never bought one. Because I was like, ooh, the profit margins. But I did it. I bit the bullet. I did it. You only live once. I see other people's designs, and then I want to do it too, And then before you know it, I have so many supplies, I run out of time, and then the season's over, but I will do the bunny butt. I think that's so cute. And I'm doing 2 shows, so I think it'll sell. And what's nice about the booties is you can like bend down the legs so that it fits a little flatter, and it's like metal. Let's see. No business I got started making to give for gifts. Then my family said I need to sell them. I don't make them all the time. Okay, buddy. Buddy, yeah, I hear you. So you sell them through like Facebook Marketplace or just like word of mouth, like friends or what? Tell me more. I've always heard of people that sell on like Facebook Marketplace, but it was never successful for me. Even on my like less expensive items, it still wasn't really. It was not lucrative for me, I should say. But that's fun. I like that. Yeah, Betty, that's how I get started too. Just making them for family. Seeing smiles on my family's faces out of something that I made for them. But that's fun. If you sign up for Etsy, what's fun about Etsy is like when you sell something on there, you can have it like set your notifications so that it'll like let you know right away, and it makes a cha-ching sound. Your phone will make a cha-ching when something sells, and it's like a cash register, cha-ching. It's kind of fun. So just tuck in that little bit underneath, and then we're gonna be putting. So our mesh is cut to 30 inches long, if I didn't mention that yet. We had those white ones I wanted to use because the hydrangea they're blue and white. They're really pretty, the variation and the color in that. And I'm gonna put the blue on the inside. Let's see, Betty Smith, I make wreaths and donate them. Oh, for raffles. That's so special. I like that, Gail. What is, let's see. Oh, you've seen bunny butts at Dollar Tree. What? I know I've heard of people that say like they will actually take stuffed animals and like, you know, make their own bunny butts. And I'm like, oh, I could not make it look good. Like that. Plus, if my kids knew I was doing that, they'd be like, the babies! You're cutting the babies! Let's see. Oh, okay, let's see. I post it on Facebook on my page. My friends and family share my post. Oh, good. The person that bought it is someone nice. I love that. And I like that making them for raffles. That's such a great way to, you know, use your gift to make such a difference. I like doing that too. I donate to raffles and things like that too. My kids have like a fundraiser event coming up, and I always donate one of my wreaths to that too. They have like silent auction stuff going on. And it's always kind of fun to see how much it'll get, you know, because then it's like probably a little more than, you know, like instead of just donating money, which is also helpful. I love that. My next door neighbor, I always donate to they have fundraisers around Christmas time for scholarship funds, and I always donate my wreaths. I did a Grinch bought one last year. It was very successful, she said. But yeah, got a couple little frays poking through. But yeah, I was able to get that pink His Risen wreath. Now I can make a post saying like, which one do you like better, the blue one or the pink one? Because they're both available now. I was able to get some decent pictures today, even though it was a little cloudy. But at least it wasn't raining or hailing. I said railing. No. I'm being too efficient. Combining my words. Yeah, see, we just ruffle it right up the middle. Try to keep it as even as possible. And then flip it over so the cut side is facing down. I donated a few wreaths. I donated a wreath for a quarter auction. My friend, her 18-month-old granddaughter. Oh. Let's see. I did several bunny butt wreaths. I bought the bunny butt with the ears, and what you paid was not high. Yeah. The bunny butts are adorable though. So I'll make it on here. Those Grinch booties. I know those Grinch booties that I did during Christmas time, they went up like $7 this year, which is crazy. I was like, whoa. And it's kind of funny because it's like, that's when I notice how the prices of things are, is because like if you buy the same things, you know, year over year and they're one price, and then the next year you're like, wow. So I was able to stock up on some after season and get them for like the price that I paid for them last year. So that was good. Seems like the Grinch is a theme that's not going away. But yeah, cardinals and Grinch are always big Christmas things, Christmas themes for me. And dogs, Christmas dog stuff. I don't know why we're talking about Christmas. It'll be here before we know it, so let's just change the subject. Isn't that funny? I feel like these winter months always go by slowly, but then before you know it, it's flying by. We spend a lot of time outside once it gets warmer. I bought 2 Grinch butts after, 15. There you go. I didn't get 15, mine were 18. Which is still a little bit for attachment for me, but you did better than me. I always feel like it's always a timing thing, right? But that's good. So we're just placing these in here. We're going to come in with our ribbon, This blue mesh is a little bit thicker, so it's really full and fluffy. I like it. My husband, he prefers the skinny wreaths, like the ones that fit between two doors, which there definitely is a place for those too, right? He's always like, you like your wreaths so fluffy. You like them full, don't you? He'll always, because I'll hang it on our door. And like once I take my pictures so I can look at it for a little while before I bring it down here to store. And I'll be like, you like that wreath? And he'll say, oh, you like them full, don't you? I do like them full. I can't help it. I don't know. I like them like that. And they're not as big as some people's. So, I mean, that's how I kind of justify myself. They're not as full as they could be. Which is true. I mean, when I make them on the pine bases, like I did during Christmas sometimes, they end up being very, very wide, like 28 or 29 inches, which is a little wide for me because the bases are 24 inches. So when you add all the stuff on, they get really big. It starts getting to like where you can't fit them in the shipping boxes, and that's a problem because you know it's going to be very, very, very expensive to get them to your customer. So here we go. Just making sure nothing's overlapping. All the white ones are on the outside and the blues are on the inside, and then we're done. We're done with the mesh. What do you guys think? You like that? Say hey when you hop on. Let me know where you're watching from, what you got going on. We're working on a blue and white hydrangea wreath. We're not going to have a sign, but we're going to have a blue and white hydrangea egg. I got these beautiful hydrangeas at the at-home store a couple days ago. I think they're going to work really well with our hydrangea egg. I am just putting on my glue pot over here so it can start getting warmed up. I have these eggs. I was looking through my stash. Yeah, these were at the at-home store. They were in the summer section. 18-inch hydrangea bush. So there's two different ones. And I definitely have learned that there's a big difference between white and cream. So you don't want to be using cream hydrangeas on a white and blue base. I was looking and I have these eggs. They are blue and white. So I'm going to use those probably. And then I have these ones are like flocked eggs. We got purple, we got blue and white and those. We have these, I just pulled all the blue stuff that I had. We have these blue ones. These are like rattan wrapped Easter eggs. And even blues, I was noticing that like some blues are like turquoise-ish blue, you know, like robin egg blue. And this is not that kind of color. Not that kind of color scheme going on. But yeah, I like to make one for the bedroom. Let's see. One of the bedroom that I have and no craft room for me. I don't know what bedroom because, let's see. Oh, grown up. Oh, I know. Time goes by fast. I know, before I know it. My kids will say, they'll tell me, because my boys are little, you know. They're in elementary school still, and they'll tell me, are you always going to be part of my family? Yes. We'll always be together forever. You know, even when you get your own family one day, we'll always be together in our family together. And I'm like, oh, my heart, you know? Like, goodness gracious, of course. We're always going to be family. You know? As much as I enjoy them getting some independence, you know, it's still, I'm thankful that they're little, you know? There'll be a time, I hear there's going to be a time when they don't need me as much. It'll be sad. So, anyways. Okay, so this is 12 inches. These are the ribbons that we're going to be using. We have this really pretty lacy one with, sorry, I just wanted to see what I was doing here. We're putting this lacy one on all of them. It has a nice polka dot. We're putting it on top because I like it the best and I want it to be prominently displayed. We don't have to open up the pipe cleaners. We can just twist them a time or two and then just tuck them right underneath. Yeah, here we go. It was kind of funny. I had posted a reel of a wreath and somebody commented and said, what is that sound in the background? And like, I didn't know what she was talking about, But then I took the time to listen, and it was the snow crunching. Like I had taken a video of it outside, and like I was walking around in the snow to like get the different angles, and it was like crunch, crunch, crunch. And I was like, oh, it's kind of funny. You know, yep. It was the sound of the snow. It was a spring wreath, but there was snow on the ground. I think it was a Valentine's Day, that big Valentine's Day wreath that I made. It's all the florals and the gnomes. So that was kind of funny. But most of our snow is gone, but it is supposed to snow again tomorrow. So we'll see. I don't know if it's supposed to accumulate or anything. Yes, our grandkids are more at our house than they were at theirs. Oh, I love that, Betty. Those are memories that they'll have forever. I love that. That's very special. That's nice that you guys were close by. I know some people aren't near their grandchildren. You know, I know things are different now compared to like when we were kids, but anyways, times are a-changing, aren't they? My dad was teasing me because I was talking to him about like the price of things changing and how like I kind of feel like him sometimes because he'll talk about, you know, how much things cost. You know, he'll be like, when he was in, you know, in school, you know, school lunches were like 50 cents or whatever, and when I was in school they were like $2, and now my kids are in school, they're like $7 or $9, and you have to prepay online. Oh my god. It's supposed to snow here tomorrow. Oh good. You know, so I'm like, it always makes me feel my age, I guess, when I talk about the price of things, or when I was younger. I don't know. It's a gift to be able to grow older, isn't it? Not everyone gets that ability, so it is a gift. But isn't that funny? How times change. But yes, I miss having our grandkids here. Why do they have to grow up? I know, Betty. Especially when we don't get any older. How are they getting older when we are staying the same age? Right? I was talking to one of my friends about that. She had, one of her kids is like a teenager and is like, I don't know if she got married or if she's about to get married. And I'm like, how is it possible for you to have kids that old when you are still so youthful? That was funny. It was funny and fun. You know how it is, like when you have friends that you've had since you were young, like a child, you know, you kind of always see yourselves that age, right? You don't age in your eyes. That's how I am anyways. No, it's not good. It's like, I know. Betty, we had a little bit of snow the other day, or a little bit of sunshine the other day. And I was like, I knew I missed the sun, but I really do miss the sun. It has like definitely a correlation with the mood and motivation. For me anyways. I like it when it's sunny. We spend so much time outside in the summertime. I'm blessed to be home with my boys. So we have a lot of children that live near us. And they love playing outside too. You know, and the adults, you know, they'll go out and sit out and talk, and while the kids run around. It's really nice. So I miss my friends. We all go into hibernation when it gets cold, and then we all come out again and catch up. You know. But yeah. What do you guys got going on today? I know we're after Valentine's Day, but February ends next week. Like this is already tomorrow's already the last Sunday of February. Like I know that the month ends on next Saturday, but I'm like, what? How is it the last Sunday of the month already? Goodness gracious. I'm not ready for that. Too fast. Let's see, what else is new? I hit 3,000 YouTube subscribers yesterday, and I got like 17 new ones today overnight. So I'm like, okay, I like that. I feel like YouTube, it's hard for me to grow on there because you just kind of have to wait for people to find you, like your reels or your videos. It's kind of hard. But something new I'm trying, you know, trying to get my wreaths found. Because a lot of times it's not necessarily like talent. Sometimes it's just about visibility. So that was something that I started this last year, technically, to see if that helps. And we'll see. You never know. You got to try new things, otherwise you'll never know for sure, right? So we're just setting these in here. We don't have a sign, but we do have that egg, the hydrangea covered egg, which is so unique. I've never seen anything like that before. I really like that. As I said, it was kind of a happy accident. I'd ordered the hydrangeas, 2 bundles of them. They only had 1 available, and then they substituted me that egg. And I was like, okay. I think it's so cute. Let's see. Hey, Darla. Aw, thank you, buddy. Darla says, just came in. Did you put blue, white on the outside and just blue in the middle? What method did you use? I used, technically it's called Cruffles. And yes, it's white and blue on the outside, just blue in the middle. Yes. Just because I'd already used the white on a different design. They're 30 inches long. If you cut 3 rolls of mesh, it makes enough just for 2 wreaths. And if you pick like a, you know, one color like this blue, one color like the purple, and then you pick a color that goes with both designs, like white, then you can kind of multitask in that way. And then you don't have to make 2 wreaths that are the exact same color scheme. You know, or you could make 2 wreaths in the same color scheme and just, you know, every, you know, 1, 2, 3 different, you know. If you're using a dark color, I wouldn't necessarily put it all in the middle, but we put, like, we're gonna put our bow here, the hydrangea egg, which is right here. We're gonna put that in the middle and the bottom. And yes, we are almost done putting our ribbon around the bottom. We're putting 2 in each. These are cut to 12 inches long. Sometimes I do them 13 inches long, but I was really focused on using 3 rolls of ribbon, and I did not want to run out. So that's why I did them 12 inches long. That's the only reason. If there's a rhyme and a reason, that's it. Yeah. It's going to be an Easter wreath, but it's not going to be a He Is Risen wreath for the first time in 4 wreaths. It was kind of funny. Whenever I would upload the reels on that, I would just kind of use the same titles because it was kind of the same. He Is Risen wreath. He Is Risen wreath. Which is a beautiful design. If I sell the 2 in my shop, I will definitely make more. I like having that available. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen on that. I have lots of more ideas. I have a carrot door hanger. That blue is pretty, 30 inches. How long are the tails? Wow, that's a pretty, thanks. Thanks, Darla. Yes, the mesh is cut to 30 inches long. The ribbon tails are cut to 12 inches long. Yep. And we are done on the bottom. I just love the way that lace edge looks. You guys like that? Okay, kind of hop up to the top. And I have this ribbon that I'm going to be using on the top level. It has blue on the back. It has birds on it. It's called, technically it's called like chanoiserie, I believe, is the technical term for that. Makes me feel fancy when I say that, because I had no idea what that was until I saw some other wreath makers designing with it. We're going to be putting 5 of these in, and the one spot is going to have the bow in it. But yes, we're doing these just on the top. And the reason why is because I wanted to use that white ribbon in the bow and make sure that I had enough to do that. But yeah. We're just 12 inches. This is a 2.5 inch wide ribbon. The rest are 1.5 inch. We're not adding, we are going to be adding some florals in, but this is the last thing that we're gonna be adding in the pipe cleaner. So when we add the ribbon, we're just gonna give it a couple twists and tuck it right underneath. And then just bend it a little bit. Aw, thanks, Darla. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the encouragement too. It's always a little bit of a surprise to see how the wreath is gonna turn out, right? Always have a plan in mind, but you never know exactly how it's gonna look. So yeah, just I give it a little turn, a little bend like that, like a little bird or a little inverted V. And that's that. Give it a couple twists. Turn that pipe cleaner underneath so that nobody's getting poked. And then just fluffing those out a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, we are supposed to get some snow tomorrow. A few days next week we're supposed to be getting some snow, but I don't think it's much. I think it's just, I think they said 1 to 2 inches or something like that. I don't think it's anything substantial, thankfully. I bought pillows at JCPenney like your ribbon. Yes, Tarla. Smart ladies, right? Nice. I know. I had never used this ribbon before, but then I saw it available with that polka dot, this polka dot one, and then the solid blue one, and I was in a set of 3. And I'm like, okay, good. There we go. I don't have to think about putting anything together or trying to figure out what colors go good. I'm like, somebody did the thinking for me, and I'll just jump on that. So that's like them. We got 1 more set, so we'll have 5 sets of ribbon tails, and then put our bow in. So next thing we're gonna do is build our, actually we're gonna glue a stem into the bottom of that egg so that we can stick it into our wreath. And then we will build our bow, and then add our embellishments in. If we don't get it all done today, we'll work on it tomorrow or something like that. Yeah, I got a little bit of fraying going on over here, so let me take care of that while I see it. There we go. So we're done with our ribbon. There we go. What do you guys think about that? You guys like it? Give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up. Let me know what you think about it. If you don't like it, what do you think I could have done better? I'm open for some comments about that. When you put your pipe cleaners on the frame, do you cut them in half? I don't cut them in half, but I do shorten them by about 1 inch or 2. When I make, there's a burlap mesh wreath that I make that's just mesh and no ribbon, and I cut them in half at that point because all I'm adding is the mesh. But mesh and ribbon, we need more than a half. A little less than a half. I wish you could just do it as a half because then it would be like more money saving. But no, I decided to decorate LR with blue. I've had some sage purple for years and years. Nice. Oh, the living room. I get you. Thank you. That's pretty. I know our house, we have a lot of blue accents in our house too, like aqua blue. It's really pretty, even though we're not by the water. It kind of gives me that like beachy feel, and I like that a lot. Michigan does have a lot of beautiful lakes, but we don't live too close to one. We do spend a little bit of time in the summertime by one, but never enough time. It's always like one of those things where like, you know, you should spend more time, but then the summer just goes by so fast, and then you're like, oh, this is so beautiful. We should do this more. And then the whole summer passes, and then you say the same thing the next year. You know what I mean? Oh, thanks, Gail. Yeah, buddy. You know, does that happen to you guys too? Time just goes by quickly, doesn't it? You kind of get stuck in your routine of doing the same things. And then the summer's over. It goes by so fast. We always have this really special, it's like a festival that happens in our city every summertime, and I feel like it always like marks the end of the summer because it's always like the last week of July or August. And then we're like, oh, we're gonna go back to school before we know it. The summer flies by. I feel like the beginning of the summer is slow, but then before you know it, it's just too fast. All right, so let's build our bow. Let me think. All right, so I don't have too many wide ribbons. I do have this one that we're gonna use. What's really nice in this beautiful ribbon is that there's lots of different shades of blue in it. So there's the navy, or let's see, half mile to the bike path to Lake Erie. Nice, gorgeous. We're in Michigan. We're southeast Michigan. So the closest water we have, we have some family in like the Grosse Pointe area, so along the water over there. Port Huron is nearby us, but obviously we got water there. There's quite a few places near us with water, but I mean, I guess it's just because my kids were younger, you know, and I didn't feel super confident in my swimming abilities, I guess. But as they're getting older, I feel like we'll be able to be a little bit more adventurous, you know? Be agile. Sterling Heights, so southeast Michigan. All right, so let's see how big this is. We did 14-inch tails, which I think might be too long now that I'm looking at it, because I want to make sure that that egg is showing. We'll start with 14 and we'll trim them down if we need to. All right, so our first loop is about 5.5 inches. Aw, no problem. Oh, it used to be by Grand Rapids. Yep, other side. We're over here. You're over there. Yes, I have some dear friends that live near Grand Rapids, like in one of the little suburbs or neighboring areas. But yeah, you're not late. You're good. You're good, Tanika. We're just building a blue and white hydrangea Easter wreath. I shouldn't say we're just building it. We are building it. It's gonna be gorgeous. We've had a little story time, so you can always catch up once the replay's over. It posts, and then you can rewind or fast forward. See anything you might have missed. Trying to make our loops the same size on both sides. This is going to be interesting. I've never made a wreath with like an egg at the bottom like that. I've made it before with like 3 eggs on the bottom. I've made that design a couple of years in a row. They were like really big, like oversized Hobby Lobby plaid eggs. I did 3 of them, and then I would glue them together, and then I would mount them in the bottom of the wreath, and that was always really pretty. So I guess this is kind of like that, but just with one big one. You know? All right. So here we go. We got these loops here in our tails. We did 2. We're going to do 1. I think we'll just use this navy, which is, I bought this one at Hobby Lobby. It reminded me of like nautical with the navy with the burlap and then the cream edge. I like that. That cream is white enough where it'll be okay. It won't like clash with that. So it's definitely one area that you can't like mix and match is like white with cream. I don't do that. And I've noticed like even when you try to match white things, it's like some white, it's kind of like light bulbs, right? Like some, they all might seem the same, but some are soft white, some are, you know, it's bright white, some are, you know, daytime, all the things. I have cousins that live in Michigan. There you go. Aw, that's fun, Betty. Where at in Michigan? Where at in Michigan? Where we live, it is pretty populated, and it's really nice. And I know we're definitely spoiled because like everything is so close. Like we're not used to driving long ways to get anywhere. We have this, like the Crafter's Paradise, like right around the corner. Pretty much, we have this busy road that has like all the craft stores you could ever want. Like it has Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, At Home, Marshall's, Ollie's, Walmart. I think that's it, but they got like all the things. At Home, the At Home store. Yep, they're all right there, all on one road. So I could do some damage. And Starbucks, of course. So you could always make your choices caffeinated. I felt like that last week. I was like, I'm going shopping. I should have Starbucks first so I can make my choices in an altered state of reality. mostly. All right, so I have a lot of this ribbon left, so I'm going to do 2 loops of this one. I love these birds. They're so beautiful. So fun, and it's just perfect for springtime into summertime. With the hydrangea and the egg, it's like technically Easter, but you don't necessarily have to keep it Easter. You know, it could just be springtime into summertime. It's kind of how hydrangeas are, right? It's not necessarily spring or summer. It's kind of both. So I'm looking forward to starting to see flowers blooming outside again. That's always so fun. I like to go on walks in the mornings, and it's always so fun just to take the time to look around and see what's going on. I know last week when we had a little bit of warmth going on, I saw a lot of robins hopping around, and I was like, oh, it's gonna get cold again. Go back. Oh, near Detroit. Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're not far from Detroit. Maybe an hour. Here we go. Making sure our tails are the same. I have some of this left over, so we could always do another wreath with this gorgeous ribbon. And that was from Decor Exchange. I don't know if they sell it other places or if that was one of their like custom exclusives. Yes, I don't know. I don't normally think blue is, you know, for Easter, but I know this is very on trend right now. So, you know what? Why not? Why not, right? Let's see. I live out in the country. Closest town is 12 miles away. And there isn't any stoplights in town because it's small. There's charm to that, isn't there, buddy? I know. It's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of times, like Hallmark movies and stuff like that, they paint like, I've heard like small town life in a certain way, but I like to imagine it being that way in real life too. Our city is pretty popular. It's pretty busy, but I feel like at the same time they do a really good job with like holding you know, classes at the community center and classes at the library, you know, where it's very personable. You know, it's a good place to raise your family. But, you know, we do love everything being so close, that's for sure. We're definitely spoiled in that way. All right. We're almost done with our bow, and then I think we're going to have to be done for today. We're going to have to add our embellishments in next time. But it won't take long. The embellishment stuff is always pretty short. It's the prep work, you know, counting out your florals, making sure, because I always like to put 12 around outside. Just painted my nails. And my nail polish is all coming off. Rude. All right, so let's see. We're gonna do 2 of this blue one, and then I think, how much of this do we have left? All right, let's do this. One color of ribbon of solid ribbon like this that I do not have is white. I feel like I should have that. The only white that I've bought recently ended up being like a satin, which I was not expecting, and I'm not a big fan of that. So I'll have to branch out and get some white, like a white canvas ribbon. Takes about an hour to get to the bigger town that has more shopping stores. Aww. Let's see. Oh, I missed somebody. Hey, TNG, right? Kind of hard to see the name sometimes because it's on the white part of my ribbon spools and they come in through white. But hey, we are building our bow. We're working on a Hydrangea Easter wreath, and my bow dabber is almost reaching its capacity because it's starting to not hold my ribbons anymore. Here we go. Cut that tail. I'm gonna add that lacy ribbon on the very top, and then we're gonna be done with the bow. I'm just gonna place these over here. Yeah, just finishing up. It's kind of soothing down here. It's so quiet right now. Let me know what you guys are up to, what you guys have planned for the weekend. We do a lot of weekly prep stuff during Sundays. Meal prep and lunch and all that good stuff. I'm gonna cut that on an angle. We're gonna gather it in the middle, and then we're gonna turn it. And then we're gonna place it down on the very top. And take our pipe cleaner, just kind of make like an inch or so. I like your choice of ribbons for the bow. I'm always afraid of using different ribbons. Oh, good. Good, Tangy. I'm happy I got that right. Make it look easy making that bow. Practice, Betty. Practice, practice. I like your choice. Okay, thank you. You know what? I don't think you can go wrong. Like, so what I tend to do, and I think helps me out, is I will pick solids, and I will pick patterns, and I will pick patterns that are like not as busy, so that they're kind of like solids. So like that one that's the burlap with the navy blue stripe, it's technically a stripe, but it's kind of like a solid because it's so like, the pattern is so small, right? And I think that's helpful because if you add too much pattern on pattern on pattern on pattern, it can end up feeling a little overwhelming. So I think that's kind of it. That's what works for me anyways. So like, see, we have like a solid. We have sort of a solid, but with a pattern. And then we have a pattern, right? And then we have, technically it's a pattern, but it's not as busy as this, right? And then we have a solid. And then we have a more busy pattern, right? So it kind of allows your eye to rest, you know, between levels, and it kind of, it's very cohesive because it's all in the same color scheme. Like it's all in here, right? So that's how I kind of look at it. And I mean, there's no wrong way to do it. If you don't like the way you made it, just take it apart and do it again, right? Or save it for a different project. But yeah, curl those tails. I know these tails are gonna be too long, I think, but we'll see. We'll see when we get our egg in. We don't want our egg hiding for sure, but there we go. Here's our bow. What do you guys think? This one looks like it needs to be pulled out a little bit. There we go. There we go. See? Couple layers. Favorite ribbon is the one with the birds. Ah, yes, Tangy. So I bought it through Decor. It's through Decor Exchange. So I don't know if it was like an exclusive. You know, I know they have like design boxes and stuff. I don't know if it's an exclusive to them or not. We're gonna put that on it a little bit tomorrow. But yes, I did buy this. It's called, yeah, it says Decor Exchange LX3084WR. 2.5 inches by 10 yards. It says Decor Exchange right on it. But it is a fancy ribbon. It's the brand Deluxe ribbon, which is a little bit more expensive than like the RG ribbons, which are still very good. So I don't buy it all the time, but it definitely makes a difference. Like, you know, the more expensive ribbons are worth it. It's not just like the name. I think they're worth it. Thank you so much. Aw, thanks. All right, guys, I'm done for today, but I will see you guys next time. And thanks so much for hanging out. If you catch the replay, let me know. Just type replay before your questions or anything like that so that I know that I didn't already answer them. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys. Happy Saturday. Hey, guys. Jess with Wreath. You can see our embellishments sitting right there on the chair waiting for us. So last time we guys saw me, we did our mesh, we did our ribbon tails, and we made this bow. And since then, I was kind of playing around and I added in our hydrangea Easter egg and some leaves. These are the leaves that came on the hydrangea stem. So I thought adding a little bit of green amongst the blue is a good idea, and that would be really pretty, and I do support that. But one thing I was trying to figure out, and I'll wait a minute for you guys to hop on and let me know what you guys think about it. But so I had originally thought I wanted to put our hydrangea down here and then place our bow up here. That's what I was thinking originally. But then I thought to myself, well, the tails are really long, so maybe we should put the bow on the bottom. But then I didn't really like how that looked. So I really think it's gonna work just fine with our bow up top. But I'm just gonna wait one more second and let you guys come on in. Say hey when you come on in with us. We're working on our Easter wreath, the one that we finished. Well, didn't finish. We got most of it done on Friday, I believe. And we are working on it now. I told you guys we would finish it together, and I am a woman of my word. So I waited for you guys so we could do this all together. I've been prepping another wreath while we were waiting for our glue pot to heat up so that I can start on that. I showed you guys the Jesus sign from last week, and that is what we're going to be working on next. So say hey when you hop on. I'm just attaching my wreath hanger so that we can have a minute for people to come find us before we get started on attaching our bow and all the embellishments, because we only have a few minutes for this wreath. The embellishment step is the fastest because, you know, the big part, the time-consuming part is the prep work for the embellishment part. So, and I got that all done. So we're just going to add our embellishments in just a moment. So say hey when you hop on. I had a little hair there. But we made this base last time I saw you guys. It will be over on my YouTube shortly, if it's not there yet. But we used some really pretty blues and whites, different shades of blue, and we're gonna attach, we made our bow last time too. So this is the big bow that we made last time. And I'm gonna throw that onto our wreath. Not really throw it, but attach it into the spot. We have one spot up here that doesn't have any ribbon tails. So we're gonna place the bow there. And that is the top of our wreath. And then where the hydrangea is the bottom of our wreath. So there's 6 spots. I made sure that I kind of lined them up so that hopefully the bow is right on top of the hydrangea and everything is all lined up. But you know what? Sometimes even your best planning isn't exactly accurate. So we're gonna do our best. But say hey when you hop on. I'm just attaching our bow into our wreath. We made this bow last time. We were all together on Friday. And I have a long wire. I'm attaching it right to our frame. We do not glue in our bows at all here at Peekaboo Wreaths. Just the idea of that makes me not so pleased. And you know, it's kind of interesting because this blue ribbon that we used is the exact same blue as the mesh that we used. So that makes sense why that was a good look to my eye. It's an exact match. So say hey when you hop on. Let me know what you guys are up to, how your Monday's treating you. We're just attaching our bow real quick to the top of our wreath frame. And then we're going to be adding in all of our gorgeous blue and white and green embellishments. And I'll show you guys those in a moment. We're gonna be adding some more hydrangea in. All right, so we have our long tails. And I wanna make sure that it does not cover up our hydrangea egg, because that's our focal point in this wreath, is that those gorgeous hydrangea. And I don't want to cover those up, so we're gonna kind of fold our tails a little bit over this side, kind of split them so that our egg's right in the middle. Aw, hey Ann, you love this? I love this too. Thanks for picking that blue heart, color coordinating. A girl after my own heart. But yes, we worked on this last time, and now we're finishing it. Just pulling it in a little bit. I did add the hydrangea egg. The way that I did that is this egg is from Walmart. It is actually foam underneath all these petals. So what I did is I took a little piece of a stem from a floral bush, and I just poked it in there and did Gorilla Glue hot glue, and then glued it right into the mesh. I did take a couple of these green leaves that were on the hydrangea stick or stem, stem, right? Okay, so now that we have our bow attached, I'm going to show you. As you guys know, I always separate my embellishments in 2 different bins, a top layer and then a bottom layer. That way it just helps me kind of stay organized and know what I'm doing and count. I always count my stuff out before I go live here so that I'm not trying to count, you know, nobody wants to hear somebody just sit there and count 6, count 12, right? Count 5. All right, so that's why I did it ahead of time. Everyone knows how to count. You guys don't need to listen to me. So what I did is I have these gorgeous white ones, and then I have these blue ones, which are the same ones. They're very similar to these. These have a little bit more purple in them, and then these have, I would say this is more like a light blue and like a periwinkle. This is a little bit more of a medium blue, but I think it's gonna work just fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna put the blue ones here, like right in those ribbon bundles. So we have 2 nice big hydrangea heads, and then we're gonna make sure that we take our ribbons, and I know they're gonna get a little discombobulated for a moment, but we'll make sure that we don't get any glue on them. And then I'm gonna take the white hydrangea, put them here, and then I have some of the leaves. They're the ones that were on the stem of the hydrangea, and I didn't want to throw them away, so I thought maybe we could put a little glue here and tuck them like right underneath those heads and just kind of break up the blue just a smidge with the green. So that's what I was thinking on that. And then, thanks, Stephanie. Yeah. So then on the bottom is a little bit different. I have this greenery. It came in a greenery bush, and it kind of reminds me of flocked greenery, which I've never seen before. I have these flocked eggs. You see how they're like a little bit fuzzy, right? Well, this greenery looks flocked to me. It's got like the fuzz on it, you know, and you'd think like, you know, when would you use that? It's not really winter because it has this one in it, which kind of looks like olive. So what I was thinking is this matches the flocking, you know, so why not use it in this creation? Because it is kind of white, right? It's not green, it's white and green, right? So I think that'll look really pretty. I'm going to tuck one of them inside of each of our outside ribbon bundles. And then I have different eggs. I have these blue speckled eggs. I have the white speckled eggs. And then I have the blue flocked eggs. And then I also have blue, like, rattan wrapped eggs. Got lots of eggs. Can you tell we haven't done a design with eggs yet this year? I was ready. I was like, okay, show me all my blue things that I have. All right, so let me grab my glue pot, and then we can get started with this. After this design is done, if we have time, I wanted to get started on our next Jesus wreath, the one for Holy Week that has more of a darker color palette. We're going to be using blacks with burlap, and purples, gold tones, ivories, all the good stuff. So let me go grab my glue pot. It is a Sure Bonder glue pot. If you guys wanted to look up the greenery bush that these came from, I just got it from Craft Outlet. But if you just go into Google and you do like 80947 greenery bush, that's probably what I would type in. And hopefully that'll pop up for you. I almost said that'll hop up for you. Bunnies on the mind. And I got one of those moss green bunnies. I've been thinking about finding all kinds of small wild. Yes. And I support that. I was thinking about doing a bunny design too. And using, so like the way that my brain works is like, bunnies, where would you find bunnies? You know, outside. You know, grass, greenery, wildflowers, you know, maybe munching on some clovers or some tulips or something like that. So I'm all about adding like other items that naturally surround the bunnies, you know, I'm all about that. All right, so we're gonna start with this one. So let me place this over here, out of the way, because our workspace gets a little crowded with our glue pot. I don't ever want to get our wreath in there. But yes. All right, so we're gonna start with our white. We're gonna do our white closest to our hydrangea egg. So I'm just gonna very carefully dip the stem in the hot glue pot and then place it right on the outside portion of the ribbon bundle. That way it's kind of out here. If you put it too far towards the center, then the ribbon tails might cover it up, and that is not what we're going for, right? So I have 2 sets of leaves for each one. I think I'm only going to use 1, and then we'll save the other ones. But that's a tip too, is if you do, a lot of times the bushes or branches that the flowers come on will be called what's called pushers, which means like you can take the stem and you can push it all the way up, and then all the greenery is like right near the floral. But sometimes it's not, and if it's not, what you can do is not pull the flowers off, Jessica. What you can do is incorporate the leaves. So you can always, you know, take the leaves off and place them near the heads of the flowers. And it's just kind of a nice way to, you know, the designers put those leaves on that branch because it made it look realistic, right? People buy fake florals that look real, right? Everyone knows they're fake. But if you put the leaves that came with the flower, you know, it just kind of gives an extra little matchy incorporating detail that you don't have to really think about because it's already been done. Ooh, oh, you meant attaching flowers to the bunny. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, so you meant like a moss bunny frame. Okay. I thought you meant like, have you guys ever seen those, they look like moss bunnies. They're like green bunnies, and they have like green flocking around the outside. That's what I was thinking when you said that, Anne. And I've made lots of moss bunny heads. There was a time a couple of years ago when I was making, for Easter, I was able to find these. They were like 24 inches long, and they were grapevine bunny frames. And I pumped those babies out like nobody's business. And then I wasn't able to get them again. But what I was able to get were these moss bunny heads. And it was just the head and the ears, and it was covered in moss, and it was a grapevine. And I thought it was so cute, but it was not super well received for some reason. But maybe it was just my technique. I don't know. I'll have to try to make some more this year. But I do have a couple in my shop. They're really fun to make. You can put florals and a bow on them, like where the collar is, or you can put it at the bottom too. Just incorporating those flowers and those leaves. But yeah, hey. You are so delightful and creative, says Rita. Appreciate your tips. Rita, thanks. That was delightful to say. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Well, I know for a long time people would ask me when I would make a wreath, do you offer tutorial? And I would always say no, because I was just not confident that I was able to teach anybody anything. Well, I'm like, I'm not good enough to do that. But you know what? Everyone has something to teach. Everybody has something to share, right? I always remember that quote that says, like, none of us live long enough to make all the mistakes, so learn from other people's mistakes, right? So, I mean, come on. If I can help somebody learn something a little bit faster than when I first learned how to do it when I first started making wreaths, then I'm all about it. I'm all about helping that. Helping you not have to maybe get somewhere a little faster, you know. And then these hydrangeas, these blue ones and white ones, were from the at-home store. All right, so we have some leaves, but we'll just save them for another project. Just set that out of the way. All right, so let's add in our second layer, our bottom layer. We'll fix our tails in a little bit. I know I'm sorry, tails. I'm thankful I didn't get any glue on you. Yes, I know I'm talking to wreath bow tails. I know. Okay, so let me see. We're gonna put our greenery in first. I know that there was I'm just gonna try to make sure I don't put two of the same exact things next to each other. This was 2 bushes. So each of the bushes had 6 different kinds of greenery sprigs on them. I apologize if you see the back of my head. It happens every time. Sorry. All right, and then I'll come back through and put in my eggs. I know I definitely had a pattern in mind when I chose those, so I'm gonna wait until this greenery is out of the way and into our wreath to be able to start adding those eggs in. Oh, thank you, Anne. Anne, I actually went to school for teaching. I did 2 long-term subbing jobs, and then it was during a time when there was not a lot of teaching available, like openings here in Michigan. So I was not able to find a full-time teaching job. So then I ended up working in an accounting position. And then I had my oldest son, and I wanted to stay home. So I do think that maybe I will go back into teaching one day when my kids are a little bit older. That is a possibility. All right. But isn't it so cute? Like it seriously looks flocked, doesn't it? You always seem so organized. Heidi, thank you. I talked to all my designs, Ian. Heidi, thank you. I try to be organized. I just figure like I would rather do the planning before I go live because like I can't talk and count at the same time. So there's no way that I'd be like able to talk and not be like, okay, everybody's hearing me count 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, okay. We all know how to count. We don't need to come on here. I don't know. We're kind of here for the story time. But yeah, I don't know. We're all doing our best, right? You talk, and that's so fun. Oh, Hot Mesh Mom, hey. I talked all my designs. Well, you know what? You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them, right? That's so funny. I love it. This one's my favorite. But yeah, this is definitely a good tip is to get like a floral bush instead of like a lot of picks, because a lot of times you can get lots of picks off of one bush, and you know the designer does the thinking for you. You don't have to think like, okay, does this go with this? Does that go with that? So I know that can be, you know, a challenge sometimes. Even like greenery, you think like one kind of greenery grows with everything, but some are more green, some are more yellow, sometimes it's more muted, sometimes it's brighter. So I get it. But yeah, this is perfect. This design is perfect for this. The flock. The flocked greenery. Who would have thought? You know? Because this, I wouldn't necessarily think this was wintry, you know? It's just flocked. So it goes with the flocked eggs. And if some of the greenery pieces are longer than others, just make sure that you kind of push them, you know, further in. Just be a little bit more aware of that. You know what I mean? Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm gonna put this one in. This one kind of looks like a fern. You guys, how is the weather behaving where you are? We have snow going on here in Michigan again. Everyone, it's so funny because it's like people here, and I'm sure they do this too in other states where it's like kind of cold, but heck, it's been cold for a lot of people this year. But how they'll say like everyone gets excited because they think spring is coming, but really the second winter is coming. Because like we all got excited because we're like, all right, we're in the 40s, we're in the 40s, and then it snows. It's supposed to snow like every day this week. Is that a wire frame? It is, Bridget. Yeah, it's a 14-inch wire frame. Since I started, I've always gotten my 14-inch wire frames from the Dollar Tree. But lately I've been having some issues with them, with quality control. Like I'll buy like a whole stack of them, you know, people, like, I'll go up to the register and they'll say, how many do you have? And I'll say, like my whole arm will be, you know, I'll leave a few, but when I find them, I get them. And I've been getting them home and like a lot of the welds are broken. So, I mean, it kind of stinks. I might have to start looking elsewhere. I don't know. All right, so here are the eggs. They're all blue and white. Colder in the south too. You're right, Heidi, it has been, I know. I have some sweet friends in Georgia. I know they were having some issues before. Okay, so we have 3 of each type. 3 of each type. Okay, so we're gonna start with the flocked ones. And even with the eggs, I was finding like these eggs, you would think like a blue egg is a blue egg, but some of the blue eggs are more turquoise-ish. Some of them are like, you know, like a robin's egg blue. So you just gotta be aware. And some of these eggs you can find them in the stores. They'll have picks on them, and I definitely promote that because it'll help it stick up more. Right now when I'm adding these in, I'm making sure that I'm making them nice and secure, but I'm not pushing them so far in that they're gonna like not be able to be seen, you know. Finally, okay, we had 8 inches of snow a few weeks ago in South Carolina. Heidi, no. No way. Did everything shut down, right? I know that can be, it sounds funny to us, like, oh my gosh, people got snow in the South, but that can be very dangerous, can it? It can be very dangerous. Well, I know people were like losing power and stuff. And that would not be good with the cold. Especially if, you know, you have, you know, children or people that are a little bit more delicate, right? Finally, the 40s and 50s this week in North Carolina. Yes. We had a little bit warmer weather, and then it's snowing, but it's not really accumulating much. I think it's kind of funny because I feel like the Weather Channel app will always like make it seem like it's, even though I know it's important that we are warned, right? It's important that people can prepare, but sometimes they make it seem like we got this weather alert. I looked at my phone this morning, like I do every morning when I get up. I look and see what the weather, you know, what the weather's got in store for us today. And it said, weather alert, you know, or special weather advisory, I think is what it says, special weather advisory. So then you look, let me make sure I'm following the right pattern. Okay, yep, okay, I'm blue speckled. So then I look, and it says, up to a ½ inch of snow accumulation possible. Like, you're gonna give me a weather alert for a ½ inch of snow? Are you serious? Come on. Yes, my husband works for the city of Myrtle Beach, and they didn't go to work here. There's no equipment to manage weather like that. Oh man. Yeah, that's my husband. He lived in Oklahoma for a little bit, and he was saying that they don't really have salt. They would put down sand, which is helpful, but not for melting ice, you know. It makes it more grippy, I guess, but I'm thankful it all turned out okay. All right, now you need a white one. These speckled eggs, they came from Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby always has really good Easter embellishments. And I've heard that they're 40% off right now. I have not gone this year, but it's always tempting. I did go to the at-home store last week, and I felt like I missed at the Easter decorations, like they're already were picked over, or they didn't have a lot out. I don't know which one it was, but I was a little surprised they didn't have more out for me. But I did buy the hydrangeas there at the at-home store. They were a little expensive, but they were fancy and pretty, so they are what we needed. And that was our last egg. So we are done. We are done with this wreath. So let me pick it up and show it to you. Let me just let that hot glue kind of settle for a second. Again, if you guys ever have any questions about that glue pot, it's called a Surebonder. And I use Gorilla Glue hot glue in there so that all my stuff stays really nicely. Nothing's falling off. And I've sold wreaths to, like, you know, I have lots of customers down south. I have never heard, thankfully, of anything falling off. Making sure everything looks nice and secure here. We're gonna just fold. I think we're gonna trim a couple of these ribbon tails. Always make sure that we cut down. Because if you cut the other way, then you're gonna have arrows instead of dovetails. Which is a look, just not the look that I like for my wreath. Say hey when you hop on. Alright, so there we go. Alright, let me pull this up for you guys to see. Ooh, you can't even get a good one because it's so big. Let me show you from the sides. Look how pretty that is with all those eggs. What do you guys think? Absolutely gorgeous. Thanks for all your... You're welcome, Anne. And then we're going to get started on our next wreath, if you guys are up for that. I did some prep work so we can get started on that. All right.